Welcome to UND Sports Extra. I'm Alex Heinert. After reeling off 9 straight wins to earn a share of the Big Sky title and a first-round FCS playoff bye, the University of North Dakota was finally ready to play their first postseason football game since 2007 and their first game period in just under 3 weeks. Standing in their way, though, on Saturday, the 12th-ranked Spiders from Richmond. To a packed Alaris Center on Saturday night with just under 10,000 in attendance for UND's D1 playoff debut. Early on, any fear of rust from the home team after the long layoff was quickly pushed aside as on UND's second possession, Brady Oliveira caps off a steady 10-play, 54-yard drive right here, 7-0 Fighting Hawks. Richmond's answer, though, almost immediate. 2 plays later, Kevin Johnson hits a wide-open Brian Brown for a 79-yard touchdown hookup, all tied at 7 after the first. The second quarter would belong to North Dakota, however. Offensive coordinator Paul Rudolph dials up the flea flicker and the Spiders bite on the fake. Keaton Studsrud finds Damon Mercer behind the secondary, and the junior wideout does the rest. 69 yards for the score, North Dakota back on top. Later in the second, Austin Dussault punting, and Tyler Wilkins cannot hang on to it in traffic. Alex Reed makes the recovery. That would set up a Reed-Toppenheim 43-yard field goal to put UND up 17-7 at the break. North Dakota would take the second half kick and march right down the field, 12 plays, 75 yards, finished with the second touchdown of the night for Mercer, 24-7 all UND at this point. The Fighting Hawk defense was doing their part as well. Jawan Johnson and Brian Labatt teaming up for the sack of Kevin Johnson here, the last of their 4 sacks on the night. This, though, is where the game would change. Richmond punting on 4th and 1 from their end zone, and Carter Wilson just bumps into punter DJ Helkowski, who sells it enough to get the call and give the Spiders new life. 3 plays later, Johnson finds Brown on a 3rd and 1 for 54 yards down to the UND 15, and 2 plays later, Johnson would take it in himself. UND still up by 10, but you could sense the momentum had shifted. Fourth quarter, more special teams trouble for UND. Richmond sends 8 on the punt block, and the Shields cannot hold them off. The Spiders would only turn this into a field goal, but it's now a 1-possession game, and after a UND 3 and out, the Spiders would tie it up. Johnson to Garrett Hudson, who barrels in across the goal line, tied at 24 with 5:24 left. North Dakota would give the ball back to Richmond with 3 minutes left, and on 3rd and 14 from the Spider 26, Johnson would heave up a prayer, and Tyler Wilkins would answer it. First and only catch of the game for the sophomore who muffed the punt earlier. It's good for 54 yards, and it sets up Griffin Trow from 18 yards out for the game winner as time expires. Richmond scores 20 unanswered in the final 15-23 of the football game to shock UND and move on to the FCS quarterfinals. North Dakota finishes the year with a D1 program record mark of 9-3, a stellar season, but there's no doubt this one will hurt for a while.
Our hopes were high and we're feeling good, and then momentum kind of shifted, and it's tough. We've had a lot of games like that in the fourth quarter where we came back and made a big change in the game, and somehow pulled out a win, and it's just what happens in football. Tides kind of turned on us today.
It's a terrible feeling, you win 9 straight, and then you hit a brick wall, it feels like so. And it's just losing those seniors is a tough loss. Those guys love this program, and they did anything for it, and they were here through thick and thin, and I know I'll be a senior next year, and I don't want to feel like this.
We still have a lot more to accomplish, and I wish that we could add another game because I felt really good, comfortable with these group of guys. We shouldn't have lost, I don't think. I don't know. It's just a bad feeling right now.
We just carry this feeling over and use it as fuel going into next season, because we know that we can go farther. We know that we're a better team. We know that we're gonna make adjustments in the spring. So we're just gonna use this as fuel and gonna take it to the next season and do what we have to do.
Since I got here, we've continually gotten better and better in each year, and next year we're gonna make a run for it. Mark my words, we will, because this year our main goal is to win the Big Sky and make a run for it in playoffs, and next year we're gonna do both and make it further.
A heartbreaking way to end the season for sure, but still, Bubba Schweigert and this team have much to be proud of. The head coach joins us coming up next.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by Farmers Union Insurance and the University of North Dakota.
Welcome back. Well, joining us now, the head coach of UND football, Bubba Schweigert. And Bubba, the game Saturday, one that was a decade in the making. I know people have been looking forward to this for a long time, since your last playoff appearance in 2007. And then the 20 days in between the last game of the regular season certainly just led to that excitement. The atmosphere in the building, I think, was up for the occasion, certainly.
I would call it awesome.
Yeah.
You know, thanks to our supporters and our student body and all the people that came out to fill the Alaris Center. And it was an electric crowd, and we were excited to be a part of it. You know, the result is not what we were looking for, but sure had a lot of fun. And, you know, that finish was something we got to do better, and we got to learn from it.
Yeah, certainly. Coming out into the start of that contest, again, 10,000 people in the Alaris Center. How much did your team just feed off the environment that was created in the building?
Well, we had talked to our guys about that, you know, that, hey, we still got to play well to get the crowd into it, and we played well early. You know, we were able to get 3 and outs and get field position, then we scored first in the game, and I think that really helped us. And to be at home in front of our crowd, we wanted to take advantage of it, and we did for a long portion of that game.
Yeah, certainly the first 40 minutes, a ton to cheer about. You're up 24-7. What was going right out there when you built up that advantage?
Well, you know, a couple things that we thought were really going to be important in the game, again, was taking care of the football, and we did that. You know, another thing was getting off the field, and we were pretty good on third down. With the exception of one play in the first half, we played really good defense. We were solid on special teams and won the field position battle and scored when we had opportunities to go in the locker room at halftime up 17-7.
Yeah, a great start to the contest. And as you mentioned, a really clean football game from your side. No turnovers, just the 2 penalties the entire game. It felt like there were times in that second half, maybe some missed assignments kind of came into play. It just felt like between those things and a few big plays, that ended up really being the difference in this contest.
Well, we missed a scoring opportunity when we had to punt the football, but we still pinned them and got them to 4th and short, and then the penalty, which really, as you look back, that gave them an opportunity to score, and they go down and once more get an explosive play. The difference in the game, really, they made more explosive plays than we did. And then when it was 24-14, if we could have come back and made something happen and get some momentum back, but after they scored and made it 24-14, we really never got momentum back in the game.
Yeah, Richmond able to score on each of their last 4 possessions after only putting points on the board just one of their previous 9. They get the big pass play to get it down inside the 20, and once Kevin Johnson runs it inside the 6-yard line, time's winding down, there's about 1:30 left. Did you think about calling a timeout at the end of the contest, or trying to even just let them score to get the football back with a little time left on the clock?
You know, we looked at all those options, but we just felt like defensively we were so opportunistic throughout the entire year, and we were going to put it on our defense to get a stop and force a turnover. Unable to do it. Still even considered, you know, it was 3rd down, could have called the timeout, but then you're just going to run it again and run the clock down. But probably, you know, as you look back, you probably should do that. But just so many things going on, and, you know, really wanted to put it on our defense. Can we strip a ball? And we put a good hit on them on the one run, and, you know, sometimes that pops out, and we had done it in games before, and just really, you know, didn't have momentum, but we're trying to give our guys an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and they nearly did. Nearly a blocked kick on that field goal. Deion Harris off the edge nearly gets there, and obviously a very tough loss for everybody associated with the program. But still, it does not damper what was a tremendous season. When you look back, what are you going to remember about this campaign?
Well, you know, as coaches, we probably remember what happened last. Yeah. But you know, we got to put this in perspective. You know, we got to learn from it, and let's be honest, we're a hurting bunch after that game, and, you know, there were a lot of emotion in the locker room, and got to say goodbye to seniors. But as we look back, we accomplished a whole lot that's never been done here before in the Division I era, and we got to build off of that too. And, you know, winning the conference championship, earning a first-round bye, and I really believe we earned it by running off 9 in a row, and so many good wins, solid wins that we had to come up with big plays and learn how to win, and all those things are things we can build on. But, you know, it comes down to this. We still got to have that day-to-day approach and get back into the work office and, you know, just work to move our program forward, whether it's coaches, players, whatever we can do to make our program better and keep moving in a positive direction.
Yeah, certainly a chance now to do so in this offseason. There's about 2 months between now and National Signing Day on February 1st. We'll have full coverage, of course, live on Midco Sports Network of Signing Day 2017. Coach A, on behalf of all of us here, congratulations on a tremendous season. Thanks so much for your involvement in our program and our coverage of your team this season. Way to go.
Well, thank you, and we'd like to thank Midco, too, for all that you do for our program.
Well, Dave, it's easy, again, working with such good people. So appreciate it, Bubba. Good luck this offseason.
Thanks.
Back in a moment to talk with Mark Pryor about North Dakota volleyball's run in the NCAA Tournament. Coming up next. Welcome back. Well, the University of North Dakota Volleyball made their first trip to the NCAA Tournament this past week, and here to wrap it up, the head coach, Mark Pryor. And Mark, first of all, congratulations again on a phenomenal season.
Thanks.
You had a couple of weeks to wait between the tournament victory and finding out where you were going to play and then playing the actual game. You said all along Minnesota was the expected destination. That's where you ended up.
It was one of those things, we knew we'd probably go to Minnesota. I didn't expect that Hawaii and USC would be there as well. Sure. That was interesting. But we knew we were playing the Gophers, and so it was kind of as advertised.
Yeah, certainly the familiarity with Minnesota as a program, a team you had played and taken a set off earlier this season helps. Also the fact that proximity-wise, just right down the road, really, you mentioned a moment ago, the best place really your team could go for your fan base as well.
I think so. For our first time in the NCAA tournament, there's a lot of nerves, things like that. I think that we had such a great fan base there. The kids had played there before. Would we have liked to have played one of those other two teams? Absolutely. Yeah. But for us to be there in that environment, I think it was great as far as our first step to making this kind of the rule, not the exception.
Yeah. This was a Gopher team, one of the top teams, ranked #1 in some polls coming into this contest. Again, a 32-game home winning streak, etc. But you were tight with them, 15-14. You were up in that first set and playing good volleyball.
We were. We got right around 21-20. And they kind of had that burst at the end. And we're usually the team that has that. They're just kind of at a different level this year. The second set kind of got away from us a little bit, but then in the third set, we were battling there with them most of the time as well.
Yeah, good fight in that third, as you mentioned. Again, down 2-0. And this is a team that just did not quit ever this season, and that was certainly the case on this stage.
I think so. I think we got done. One of the things that I'm probably most pleased with is their head coach. He kept talking about he was so impressed with our culture and just that our kids enjoyed competing. They didn't back down from the challenge. Even when it was, match point for them, he thought you guys are still battling. And so I think that's what we can be proud of, is the fact that it doesn't matter who we're playing, we're going to go get after it. And I think that's why we got as many W's as we did this year.
Yeah, obviously tough for any season to end, but it makes it feel a little better, obviously losing to a national title contender. Also makes you feel good just about the way this team did not give up and played the game. One of their better matches, you said, playing as good as they can play against one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good sign for our future. I think it's a good sign that we've got a senior that can kind of walk away going, okay, we did about all we could do. I can walk away. Am I sad that it's over? Yes, but I'm satisfied.
Yeah, you mentioned that senior Chelsea Mosier, who is the only senior on this team. She leaves this program as one of its all-time best. What has she meant to the University of North Dakota?
I think she's been great. With her being SAC president, with her being involved on the nickname committee, with her just being a fifth-year senior that's been able to just provide such. She's just stable. She just gets it. And that makes it a lot easier. Her highs aren't really high, her lows aren't really low. And I think that was a real contributing factor to our consistency the last 2 months of the year.
Yeah, you finished the season now at 26-10. You add 2 more trophies to the trophy case with a Big Sky regular season and tournament title. When you look back on this season, what is going to stand out about this last campaign?
I think what's going to stand out is when this group really clicked and finally decided, hey, here's what we want our identity to be. They did, and every goal they put forward this year, they accomplished. So I think that there's a huge sense of satisfaction with that. That it's a great foundation for us to build on for years to come.
Yeah. Mark, it has been a blast covering this team this season. Always fun having you in the studio. Thanks again so much for your time. Enjoy the off season, okay?
All right, time to buy a snowblower.
Not the only one, Mark Pryor. When we come back, UND women's basketball getting set to embark on rivalry week. Travis Brewster sits down with us next. We're in the midst of an exciting stretch of non-conference action for UND women's basketball, and here to talk about it, the head coach, Travis Brewster. And coach, just one game on the schedule this past week. This time of the season, that's got to be nice, though, to have the extra practice time just to get some of those early season things fine-tuned for you.
Well, yeah, it's nice to have a little time with the team to work on some things. At the same time, you know, you have to keep their attention, you know, and keep them focused, and that's a little bit of a challenge. But it's a good group. You know, the key is, though, can we practice hard for that time that we have off?
You had a full week then to get ready for San Francisco, who came to town this past Saturday. This is a good team from the West Coast Conference. You had a chance to mix up the starting lineup a little bit for this game. You're not afraid to change things up from time to time.
No, it comes actually down to how you practice. You know, and I'm a firm believer in that you have to give it all in your practice each time. And you know, when players are, I guess, not having a good week, you know, we're gonna have to go in another direction. That's just the way it is. Great players, they always find a way to get it done in practice, and then they get it done on the floor. And you know, I think that our team really, you know, grasped that concept, and that's why we're able to have a little success.
Yeah, certainly in the early stages, the new look lineup did well, and you got some of those kids off the bench to contribute as well. A back and forth, entertaining first 20 minutes against the Dons.
You call it entertaining, I call it a little bit of stress, but you know, it was. You know, it was a back and forth contest. You know, and they did a great job of taking it to us, and they isolated us pretty well a couple times, and we broke down defensively, but we recovered and got ourselves going.
Yeah, they would grab a 4-point lead into the half. They would go on a 12-3 run to open up that third quarter, but you would answer right back. A really big push in the fourth. You were down by 10 with about 7 minutes to go, and you closed out the game on a 17-2 run to get the victory. What were the keys over that stretch to pull in front and get the win?
Well, Bailey Strand kept us in the game. You know, she made some shots. She made some key defensive plays for us in our zone and man-to-man. The other part about it is the rest of the players, after she did that, they did a nice job of knocking down shots and sharing the basketball, so that was really encouraging to see. The other part about it is we rebounded the snot out of it. You know, we just did. We rebounded that thing, and then the other part is we played defense. And when we moved the basketball, we're just such a better basketball team. There's no question about it. I thought we did a great job of getting up and down the floor in transition and sharing the ball. The other part, though, I really thought we played selfless basketball in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Certainly a big performance, as you said, from Strand. She finishes with 11 tonight, 1 of 3 in double figures for you. A big win for you in the non-conference, especially looking at the schedule now ahead. South Dakota State coming up tonight, as long as the weather doesn't get in the way too much.
Yeah.
This is a fun matchup with an old NCC rival that you've not seen for a couple of years. Talk about tonight's game against the Jackrabbits and what you expect they bring to the table.
Well, they're a steady team. You know, they're well coached. Aaron Johnston does a heck of a job, obviously. You know, they're very methodical in what they do, and they're going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. They want you to make the mistakes. So, you know, they're going to knock down shots too. They got tremendous shooters on their ball club. Macy Miller, you know, and she does a great job. Ebert does a great job for them. You know, we're going to have to play strong basketball, though, and one of the big things for us is we just got to see if we can take care of the ball and get up and down in transition a little bit on both ends. You know, they do a great job of pushing the ball offensively, and we have to get back. So it's going to be fun. It's different to be able to play them again. It's been a while. I think since 2003. So it's been a little bit, but our fans are excited about it. Our players are excited about it. I'm sure that they're excited about it because they're rolling. You know, so it's going to be a stiff test for us. I mean, Aaron Johnston's been the head coach there for 17 years, and he's done a tremendous job. And you know, that's what you try to do, those build programs, and we're behind them a little bit in our timeline, but we got to keep forging ahead.
Yeah. South Dakota State tonight, one of 2 old rivals that you'll play this week. You go to Fargo on Saturday to take on North Dakota State. How big now do these games become in terms of recruiting and even just positioning around the region? 2 good programs that are right in your backyard.
Well, you know, regional recruiting becomes a big deal. You know, the other part about it is when you go down there, it's a tough environment to play in. It's different than any other game. It is a rivalry game, no matter what anybody says. You know, it just is. There's a reason why people get excited about it. You know, and to go down there and play in their new arena is going to be different for us. And other than that, you know, I want to get out of there.
We don't blame you, Coach. Well, best of luck tonight against the Jacks, Saturday against the Bison. We'll talk about it with you soon.
Yep, thank you.
Travis Brewster, everybody. Coming up, we're going to reveal the final 4 in your fan vote for the UND Football Play of the Year. Stick around for that in just a moment.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by Farmers Union Insurance and the University of North Dakota.
There were far too many great plays from this UND football season for just our Midco SN staff to pick from, so we decided to ask you over social media what you thought the best run, the best pass, the best defensive play, and the best return was from the 2016 season. The results are in, and here are your 4 winners.
Toss play to Brady. Looking to throw, going end zone, wide open, touchdown! Luke Fiedler! The sophomore tight end with the score on the arm of the sophomore running back from Winnipeg. Starter for the last 3 seasons out of Minot, making the big play on special teams, and now it's Santiago on 1st and 10. John Santiago inside the 20. Touchdown, North Dakota! Santiago unstoppable once again, and UND back in the lead.
2-point conversion, handoff to Noel, and he's not in. I don't think he got in. He didn't get in. He didn't get in. North Dakota denies the Bobcats on the 2-point conversion.
Blake Kemp again to throw that pass, intercepted. Deion Harris to the house. North Dakota has come all the way back and is in front for the first time since the first quarter.
We'll now take those 4 plays, Brady Oliveira's halfback pass, John Santiago's tackle-breaking touchdown run, the 2-point conversion stand against Montana State, and Deion Harris's game-winning pick 6 against Northern Arizona, and ask you to choose once again for your play of the season. Voting will take place on Twitter, and we'll reveal the results next Tuesday night here on the program. Between now and then, we've got 7 different UND games live on Midco Sports Network, beginning at the top of the hour tonight with UND Women's Hoops versus South Dakota State, the first of 2 UND Women's games we'll have for you this week. Tomorrow, it's UND Men's Basketball against North Dakota State in Fargo, and then this weekend, get comfortable. We've got men's hockey against Western Michigan on Friday and Saturday, UND Women's Basketball at NDSU on Saturday as well, and women's hockey against St. Cloud on Saturday and Sunday. 7 games in 6 days. We hope you take in as many as you can and then join us back here next Tuesday night for our next installment of UND Sports Extra. Until then, I'm Alex Heinert. Thanks for watching.